Lucid Motors stock has been on a tear recently. I'm sure you guys have seen that, but even today we closed up 2.5%. So I do think we're looking at another breakout that is on the table. As you guys can see right here, the trend line that we drawn out during the last couple of weeks, this was a couple of weeks ago, this is still fully intact and following this exact same trend line. And if we do look, we only have about 2 days left to close this gap, and we should see that breakout. Now we're gonna go over the short interest, the option activity, as well as a lot of bullish articles talking about Lucid is potentially the next Tesla, and this is causing a lot of investors to buy in even at the top end range. So big congratulations if you're like me that invested in Lucid Motors a while ago and you are sitting on some massive gains. I will also at the end of this video show you guys my position and what I plan to do with this. So hit that like button for me, consider subscribing to the channel, and if you guys want to get a free share of Lucid Motors, check out the link in the description for Moomoo. Start an account, get one free share, deposit $100 into that account with that link exclusively in the description of this video. Get one free share of Lucid Motors. That is about $53 of guaranteed money for depositing $100 with that platform. So check that out if you guys want to. Kind of ironic, they offer a free share of Lucid Motors and we cover it here on this channel. Or is it? Or do I have a partnership agreement with them? Who knows? Let's get into this video, guys. So Lucid Motors up 2.5%. In after hours, down 0.21%. So we're not really seeing a big move here in the after hours, but today was definitely a positive day after Lucid Motors was down for a majority of the day. And like I said, when you guys see this trend line, we've had this drawn up for a couple weeks now since this rally really started. And I had this $55 resistance level drawn as well because I figured, hey, we really don't have a resistance level after, these levels that we passed down here at about $40 per share and about $43 per share. I figured about $55 would be that psychological resistance level, which it has proven to be as we hit this about 4 times and got rejected now, but we're still following this trend line to the downside. So when we go down, we tend to hit this trend line and then bounce back up, just like what we've seen today with this bottom end wick of this candle at about $49.36 per share, bounce back above that, up $1.32 on the day. Now if we pull this out to the 4-hour candlestick chart to get a better feel of how many trading days until we really get to this narrow end of this channel, you guys can see that tomorrow is going to be a very important day. We should have a tight range overall, if not break out past this $55 resistance level. After that, you're going to be looking at Thanksgiving here, the 25th of November, and then Friday, this is going to be really the big make it or break it day. Now, I think tomorrow is going to have some significant, implications of what is to come. We could break to the upside over 55, or we could break down to the downside, which as this trend line does go, it puts it at a little bit higher. So right now, to stay in this channel and follow this trend line, we're going to have to stay above where we are currently at the very least, at about $52.44 per share to stay in this channel. Now, what I'm looking for is a big break to the upside or a big break to the downside to signify that we are really out of this trend line, really this ascending channel formation that we do have going right now. Thursday is going to be interesting because we are closed on Thursday, and then Friday we're going to see likely low volume, and that's going to be the day where this channel really does connect. And you guys can see right here a very, very tight range. Before then though, I think tomorrow we're going to see a big break to the upside or the downside, but Friday will confirm that for us. And if I were to put my money on this, which I do have my money in this, I'm not necessarily playing this breakout. If that's something you guys are interested in, always do your own due diligence, come to your own conclusions, but I would put my personal money on saying that we are going to get another breakout to the upside. And if I were to estimate, this $60 level is going to be a resistance level yet again, but it wouldn't certainly not surprise me to hit this $60 level even tomorrow if we've seen a substantial day, or at the very least on Friday. So definitely watch for that. As far as support resistance levels, not too much to really go off of since we've had this just parabolic rally. If I were to put a support level on this at about $43 per share. That's where you got a bit of consolidation, and then we did finally break out above that, came back down to 43, and then literally right when we hit that, bounce back up the next day. So that would be the support level. That's really what I'm watching for. Like I said, resistance level $55, and then about $60 per share are the levels to watch there. Now let's take a look at the volume. And we did see slightly lower volume today, which is a great sign. With lower volume and the price is still going up, that shouldn't be happening. That's showing you guys a lot of bullish sentiment. Usually when you see the big volume spikes, and this is the day that we did go to about $62 per share, and then we've seen this volume come down, this is really where you should be seeing a downtrend. As this volume is pretty much stair-stepping down, you should be seeing the price following the volume, but you're not seeing that. You're seeing people buying and holding. This is what I explain all the time with AMC. Some of you guys may be AMC investors as well. It is working the same exact way. Volume is going down, the price is continuing to climb. That is showing you guys the disconnect. That is showing you that people are actually holding on to this stock at these much higher prices, and I think that is going to be the case for a very long time. Obviously Lucid could come back down to $35 per share. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen unless we get some really bad news or just an overall market sell-off. So that is the current situation. Let's take a look at the option chain expiring this Friday, and you are seeing a lot of activity as well with a lot of volume on the day, specifically at the $55 strike expiring this Friday. You guys can see 25,000 for volume on the day, 11,000 for open interest here at the $55 strike, about 5,000 for open interest at the $53 strike, and about 9,500 for open interest at the $54 strike. So here, just with a couple dollar move, you are going to see a lot of hedging that has to be done tomorrow by the market makers, because Friday, typically a low volume day. They may wait to do some hedging until Friday, but I think a lot of hedging will be done as these contracts do start to run into the money, and as obviously the days to expiration become a lot more compressed because we are off for Thanksgiving. Now we do have just a lot of activity as well to the $60 strike, and then it does drop off, with the $60 strike being at 14,617 for open interest. So watch for that. Lucid Motors is making a little bit of a bounce here in the very extended after hours market that we are currently in right now. So if that goes positive, another 2 cents to the upside, that's going to be a huge telltale that, hey, tomorrow probably going to be another bullish day, and we are actually neutral now. So it looks like that is going to be the case. Now, as far as the Ortex data is concerned, I have questions on how accurate this actually is, not just with Lucid Motors, but with AMC and other stocks as well. But we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They're telling us we have 9.4% short interest, so they're saying essentially only 0.1% of the short interest has been covered since October 29th. I don't know if that was the case, because October 29th we were at, what was the price at? One second. The price was at about $41.60 on the higher end. So we have rallied since then, but this data is telling us shorts have not covered. So we're going to go with that for the time being. And we're looking at 53.62 million shares that are currently sold short. And as the volume goes down and the shorts are not covering, that makes the days to cover go higher. And that's ultimately what you want to see, is a big volume spike after lower volume, and then the shorts covering on top of that. Certainly with Lucid Motors, going to cause FOMO buyers to go into the stock as well. Now, share utilization is at 59.07%, meaning there is a little bit less shares available to be sold short than there was 7 days ago. So that ultimately is a great thing as well. Free flow out on loan cannot be correct. It's at 8.57%. You can't have a higher short interest than a free flow out on loan, because the short interest comes from the free flow out on loan. So take all of this with a grain of salt. It could be lower than this, could be higher than this. Who knows at the current moment? But we do know not all shorts have covered, like this price action would kind of suggest they have all covered. That's not the case. We can rule that out with a certainty. Now, let's take a look at the futures for tomorrow, and everything is down just a little bit. We're going to have to see if the Nasdaq does continue to slide. If that does bleed over into EV stocks have been doing very well during this time of volatility. We haven't seen much movement whatsoever. Rivian has come down more than Lucid Motors, and Rivian's valuation is also supporting Lucid Motors Motors' current valuation as well. So I think they're closely tied at the current moment. Just watch for that discorrelation if Rivian tends to be down or if Lucid tends to be up, but they tend to do the same thing on any given day. Just watch to see if that trend does start to change. Now, some of these articles that I just want to point out to you guys, this article right here, Lucid Motors, I've just invested half of my net worth in this EV stock. This was posted today at 2:18 p.m. Summary: Lucid Motors' future is bright. The start of Lucid Air Pure deliveries has been a critical milestone for the company. The company must now ramp up production of its various Lucid Air models. New electric vehicle models teased by Lucid Motors add fantasy to the company's stock. Lucid Motors could generate up to $10 billion in sales by 2025. Now, I have a more aggressive outlook on this. By 2026, I think they're going to be looking at about $22 billion worth of revenue. Nevertheless, either way, it's going to be a good deal as well. Now, my conclusion, Lucid Motors stock has been on a tear recently, and for good reason. The start of deliveries is a significant accomplishment for Lucid Motors, demonstrating to investors that the company and its executives can deliver results. Lucid Motors, in my opinion, is an EV company with $10 billion in actual sales potential and the most exciting EV stock to own in a market where electric vehicle adoption should gradually increase this decade. Having said that, expect Lucid Motors stock to zigzag from time to time and remain volatile. This should not bother you if you, like me, invest for the long term. Long term, man. I'm so excited to see what Lucid does in the long term. It's ridiculous. You're gonna make a ton of money. I personally think, not a financial advisor, but we are in the very early stages of EV adoption. Only 3% of sales in 2021 have been EV vehicles so far. So a lot of adoption still left to do, and we're going to work towards that here in the next couple of years. Now, some of these other articles that I'm not going to get into, but just have you feeling a little bit more bullish about Lucid Motors in general. So it says Lucid Motors is set up to surpass Tesla. Lucid Motors stock wants to be the next Tesla. Can it? All of these articles are really bullish on Lucid Motors, which is very interesting because when the price was low, nobody wanted to be bullish on Lucid Motors. Now that the price is a lot higher, everybody wants to be bullish on Lucid Motors. I'm not necessarily buying Lucid at these current prices. I think we'll see some kind of pullback down to really that $30, $35 range some point into the future. Now, I don't think it's going to be soon, by all means, but I do think eventually it will happen. And I do have some trades that go along with what I'm saying. So I do have Lucid $50 calls for May 20th, 2022. I sold 3 of them for $1,620 a piece. I am up $276 on these, and by doing this, essentially I agree to sell all of my shares, all 300 shares at $50 per share. What would that be? I'm terrible with math, so sorry guys. We'll just type this in. 50 times 300, that's $15,000 is what I would have to sell my shares at, and that would be a profit of like $9,000. So I wouldn't argue with that whatsoever, and that brings me to the market value of $15,702. I was up $366 today, 2.39%. Total return of $9,265, up 140, almost 144%. My average cost $21.46 per share, 300 shares worth. Like I said, portfolio diversity of 33.06%. So I am very bullish on this company. I do not want to sell my shares at $50 per share. Please make Lucid fall by then, because this is really a long-term buy and hold for me. I have a $200 to $220 price target by 2026. So keep that in mind. This is a long-term hold for me, not necessarily buying Lucid at the current moment. I may make a trade on this if we do confirm that we are breaking out of this upward ascending channel formation that we do have going on right now. That's where I would initiate a trade, specifically if we do break out past $55 per share. It could get very exciting. Now is the time to be excited, not greedy. Do what you guys want to do. Take profits if that's what you guys want to do. If you are in this for the long term like me, no need to worry. Sit back, enjoy your tendies. I don't plan to sell Lucid Motors for a lot of reasons, because I think it's going a lot higher, but as well as that, I don't want to realize all of the tax burdens that I will if I do sell. So take this information with a grain of salt. Do whatever you guys want to do with it. If you guys want access to all of my trades in real time, whether it's on Lucid Motors, whether it's when Lucid breaks out of this upward ascending channel and I make an options trade, or any other stock option and or crypto, you'll be notified in real time. Link for that in the description of this video, as well as if you guys want one free share of Lucid Motors, the link for Moomoo to do that down below in the description. Keep in mind, you have about 2 to 4 weeks to complete the process to get your free share, so definitely take advantage of that while it does last. This day Thanksgiving promotion. So you guys are great. Love and appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.